I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Hisham Khan, the CEO of Cryptocurrencies.ai. Hisham, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking the time to be here today.
Yeah, thank you, Ashton, for having me on your show.
I'm really excited to dive into Cryptocurrencies.ai. The solutions that you're providing in the space, I think, are really needed, and there's a lot of new traders coming in that need some tools to get more familiarized with cryptocurrency trading. And you have a couple different routes that you have for different traders and for analysis and all of the things surrounding that. So I would love to just kick it off to start from you with just a high-level overview of CCAI and some of the solutions that you're trying to pinpoint towards these cryptocurrency traders.
Yeah, sure. So Cryptocurrencies.ai is a next-generation exchange where we are going to be launching, we've already launched the decentralized exchange, which is one of the world's fastest, built on the Solana blockchain. And we're going to be launching a centralized exchange as well, and trying to really bridge the gap between DeFi and CeFi by having both under one platform, kind of one ecosystem. And you can imagine if traders want to trade on, let's say, a centralized exchange with high leverage, we'll be offering them spot and futures trading. But then if they wanted to dabble into DeFi, they can easily transfer some funds from the centralized exchange to the CCAI wallet and, let's say trade a coin that's launching on the decentralized exchange, or potentially get into yield farming and pools in the coming days. So overall, it's going to be a pretty robust trading platform targeting both CeFi and DeFi traders, and kind of happy to dive into both. And I'm sure as we'll talk about the product a little bit more on what the advantages and benefits are for the trading community by using CCAI.
Definitely, Hisham, and thank you for that intro. And yeah, I'm really curious on the centralized exchange part. There have been a lot of exchanges that have been popping up, and it's hard to compete with some of these top exchanges that have billions of dollars of volume. What would you say is going to be the unique competitive advantage that's going to allow CCAI's centralized exchange to have long-standing success and bring more adoption and become one of those larger exchanges in the long term?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So, when we got started thinking about the idea for CCAI, that was in 2018. I had just left Bloomberg, wanted to put a team together to build this product. And at that time, I'm sure as you recall, when you were using exchanges as a trader, you couldn't even see a profit and loss, right? Like it was very kind of a bare experience. And having come from Bloomberg and seeing what a really kind of well-established financial product should look like, even if we wanted to have a simpler version for the retail crowd, there were still some fundamental things that were missing. And so we realized and kind of scanned the industry around centralized exchanges. And, we kind of noticed that all of them offer similar assets, right? Trading pairs, and then also very comparable kind of technology and tools around it. The liquidity varies by exchanges, but really other than that, they were all very similar. And so we set out to build CCAI for those traders in the crypto space who are trading more actively. Not if you're a first-time crypto buyer, CCAI will probably be too advanced for you. But if you're in the space, you're trading crypto, then CCAI has built what we call smart trading. And within smart trading, we allow you to just take control over your portfolio with automation, customization, with things such as more advanced stop losses, take profits, and that can really help a trader out in kind of playing out their strategies or automating it or doing better risk management. So we felt like we really wanted to focus on the innovation and bringing a superior experience to the centralized exchange trading space, which just simply wasn't there on the centralized exchanges, and it still isn't there. And you bring up a good point around liquidity. So what we've done is we've partnered with one of the largest liquidity exchanges to kind of tap into that liquidity for our traders. And looking at a lot of exchanges which launched in 2017, 18, and 19, and probably continue to do so because it's a really lucrative business, a lot of them have failed for really two reasons. It's lack of innovation and lack of liquidity. So if a new exchange launches and it's going to offer, let's say, Bitcoin, USDT trading, and there's really no reason for any trader to go and trade on it, right? So we're changing that with the innovation that we've done with smart trading. And then with this partnership, tapping into the deep liquidity partners we're able to offer traders billions of dollars of kind of order book volume from day one. So we don't have necessarily those problems that traders are going to face on the first time or when they get launched with CCAI.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And yeah, liquidity is going to be key, especially on those major trading pairs to keep up. So thank you for that information, Hisham. And I was going to ask you, you touched on it there, about the audience size, and you have all these advanced trading functionality and analytics, and cryptocurrency trading is a fairly small niche compared to regular equities traders, and but it seems like there's more people getting involved with trading and the markets in the past year or two here. So are you really continuing to focus the platform on advanced traders, and is it going to have technical barriers to entry and it doesn't really matter because the market is large enough, or will you try to build light versions or have people that are because on the DeFi side, especially on the decentralized side, it's even more technical, and having those technical barriers to entry can stop people from wanting to use the platform if it's a little bit too technical. So is that a balance that you have to have between having advanced functionality and entrances into the decentralized finance world, but also making it not too technical for users that aren't programmers or advanced computer scientists?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's something that we realized early on. And my background being like a product guy, building products for about 10 years, and seeing how teams usually build an amazing product, but the user experience is just not there. And the best of products will not get used by anyone if it's not going to be, well designed and the UX side is missing. So I'll start with the DeFi side. DeFi is look, crypto trading on centralized exchanges is hard enough for regular folks, and then when we get into the DeFi space, it gets even more complicated. But at CCAI, we feel like it doesn't have to be that complicated, right? If the platform is well designed, if it has proper onboarding and can guide the users onto the platform and explain things to them and make it as intuitive as possible, then it doesn't really have to be that scary or that intimidating. So we built our decentralized exchange with that in mind exactly. When we discovered, for instance, Solana and what they were offering last year, the speed and the power of Solana was extremely promising. Like, we got super excited and wanted to get involved and started kind of building our decentralized exchange on it. And with that kind of speed, we feel like our decentralized exchange is almost comparable to a centralized exchange. And since then, what we did was, Solana is a new ecosystem, so there were some lack of wallets or a better kind of onboarding process for traders to get in. So we launched the CCAI wallet, and then made that really easy to kind of get started with. So even if you haven't created many wallets or haven't kind of gone through that experience, we make sure that we make it as easy as possible so anybody can really do it. But overall, our goal really is to kind of target a bit more advanced crypto native user, right? So it's probably not going to be for the first time person who's just getting into crypto, but if you've already gotten into crypto, traded on a DEX or even a centralized exchange, the tools that we offer are advanced, but at the same time, we've made it in a way where any skill level should be able to take advantage of them and benefit from them. And we at the same time have this, especially on the centralized exchange when it's going to get ready to launch, we have it in a pretty standard way. So when you kind of log in as a user, you'll see a terminal that you're familiar with, that you've seen on other exchanges, but then there is kind of like this pro option, this advanced option. And when you click on that, that just transforms the whole terminal, and it enables you to kind of do all these interesting things. We have a trading view integration. We allow you to, as I mentioned, do more advanced order types, dollar cost averaging, and even then we've tried to make that as simple as possible. So you don't have to be necessarily like a pro trader to be able to take advantage of them, but definitely there's a lot of power and a lot of tools that are going to be available.
Great, Hisham. Yeah, and I really find it interesting that you've developed the decentralized exchange on Solana, because for the most part, Ethereum ecosystem is where all the DeFi lending protocols are working on, but it seems like Solana's infrastructure is just faster, cheaper. It has a lot of promise on the foundation, but still up and coming, and I don't think a lot of people are familiar with Solana's ecosystem yet, and it seems like still has a lot of room to grow. And I think getting in early and building a decentralized exchange, backing their technology, it is a good choice. Definitely.
Yeah, we felt the same way. So we have seen the problems with Ethereum in the last bull cycle, right? Like with CryptoKitties and some of the ICO fundraising where things would just kind of become unusable. And seeing that again with the rise of DeFi, as refreshing as the rise of DeFi was for us, because quite frankly, we got into this industry because of the promise of decentralization, and that we were working on a centralized exchange, which I still feel is super innovative and we were excited about. But at the same time, seeing DeFi was just that much more kind of interesting to us. And then, stumbling upon Solana and really, like, for us, it was like a side project. We were like, all right, let's see if we can, build sort of like a prototype and experiment. And once we built the decentralized exchange and kind of made the first trade on our test system, seeing how fast it executed and settled, my mind was blown away. I was like, all right, this is definitely the kind of user experience that we need to be targeting for users to get into the space. And so ever since then, we've just kind of doubled down. And the first thinking was, maybe Solana is going to capture some market share from Ethereum. But given how strongly things have been progressing and how much interest and excitement there has been around the Solana ecosystem with so many amazing teams, and I believe in the recent hackathon that's probably still ongoing, there were like about 10,000 plus participants. So with that kind of growth, we see that the future could be really bright and really big for Solana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, Hisham, and thanks for that. And I know that the platform is fairly early on, and you've built a great foundation, but can you give a snapshot for the viewers on at what stage you're at right now in terms of the centralized exchange and the decentralized exchange? Are they at the production level and ready to trade and people can go there right now? Or what are you needing to have done in the near future here to get to that level?
Yeah, so our decentralized exchange is live, fully functional, already in production. The users can go to dex.cryptocurrencies.ai, and I actually encourage them to go and just try it. You'll be blown away if you've experienced DeFi on Ethereum and you try it on Solana. There's going to be a huge difference there. And as I mentioned, we launched our decentralized exchange. We then launched a wallet right after it because the onboarding was kind of something that the community was complaining about. Naturally, because Solana is still new and a lot of the infrastructure is being built as we speak. So we decided to kind of launch a user-friendly wallet. That's already been built. And we are also working on some interesting features for on the DeFi side. Unfortunately, I can't speak too much about it. It's sort of like a surprise, as if we may call it that. And we'll be coming out with it in the coming weeks. In terms of the centralized exchange, there's kind of been a lot of closed beta testing that has happened for quite some time now, and we're just kind of taking it one step at a time and not overwhelm our team by releasing too many products at once, so that we're able to better support them once they do go to production. So lots of releases coming out from our team, and the reason we've been able to kind of move at that pace and build a lot of stuff has also been because we've been on this for like the past 2+ years. So it gave us a good opportunity to kind of take our time and build a lot of products in the background.
Yeah, thanks, Hisham. And I'm excited to see how the centralized exchange and more specifically the decentralized exchange and the DeFi functionality continues to grow and expand, and your customer base expands as you continue to work out and continue to build on the product. So that's quite exciting. And in terms of the longer term success, and the widespread adoption and becoming one of those main exchanges and the go-to place for traders, what do you think will be one of the key factors to success to have all that mainstream adoption with CCAI?
Yeah, so we're betting big on the Solana ecosystem. We feel like it can enable tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, potentially a billion plus people on there. That's the promise. That's the dream. And with that sort of a grand vision and kind of the robust or the amazing technology that the Solana team are building, we definitely want to be one of the teams that are, kind of riding that wave and building as much as possible in this ecosystem. So that's really important for us to continue innovating, continue building products, focusing on user experience and making DeFi not as intimidating. My experience with Bloomberg is kind of like a funny story. if you've seen the Bloomberg terminal, it's pretty intimidating, right? Like, so you'll have all these kind of, very technical looking screen. And someone had mentioned to me while I was there that it's by design, right? So the people who use the Bloomberg terminal, the customers, they feel, I guess, smarter or more intelligent because they're able to kind of master such a complex system. So it was like a moment of pride for them. It's something that they wanted to brag about, like, hey, we're using a Bloomberg terminal, or I have my own terminal. However, that's a barrier for mass adoption, right? Crypto should be for everyone, not just for institutional players or more advanced tech folks. And if we want everybody to get in, then the user experience has to be super simple, to the point where we stop talking about protocols and all this kind of blockchain talk, and just make it all about the product, the service that we're going to be offering. And hopefully that's kind of the vision that we want to fulfill with CCAI in the future.
Mm-hmm. Definitely well said. And I agree about the Solana ecosystem and backing on that. And I think that there's so much room for growth still. So both great points, Hisham. And we are running short on time, but for the viewers that are looking to follow along with these updates and the DeFi updates and the centralized exchange to get more information on all of your products, what's the best way for them to get involved and to get involved in the communities?
Yeah, we can, they can follow our journey on Twitter for any kind of announcements. So that's CCAI_official. However, I encourage them to get involved, give us feedback, use our decks, use our wallet. We're always really keen and eager to get the opinion of, the industry, right? So any kind of feedback would be appreciated. And for just kind of talking to us and our team members, you can join our Telegram chat at CCAI official. Once again, become part of our community and let's build stuff together.
Definitely, Hisham. Thank you so much for that. I will leave those links in the description box below. All the best with CCAI moving forward, and let's follow up in the near future.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.